Still no Harry Kane, and Bayern lose at Mainz 2-1. Jules, this was pretty ugly.
It was. They were beaten in terms of intensity and physicality, which in a way was surprising unless they maybe felt a bit tired like 3 days after a Champions League game. I don't know, which Mainz obviously don't have.
Shakhtar Donetsk when you scored five.
It doesn't matter so much. Like Mainz had the whole week to prepare and Bayern didn't have. I don't know, but Mainz was so good, I thought, in again being so aggressive in their face. Didn't give them anything. Didn't stop. They were relentless and they completely deserved to win that game. And I don't know how many teams can play with that kind of intensity against Bayern though through the season. Right. You might try, but I don't know if you can do it for the whole 90 minutes like Mainz did. Credit to them. But I think Kompany would welcome the winter break, that's for sure.
I thought the Mainz got lucky on the first goal, but Leroy Sané scored, I think, minute 42 of the second half. That was their first shot, Bayern's first shot on target the whole game. And by the way, we said this in the summer. Okay, you have Harry Kane. It's great. Harry Kane's 31. He's not the bionic man. At some point, he's going to have to take games off. Why can they not have a plan B that Kompany trusts? Yeah. We Thomas Muller at center forward, especially at this age, not the same thing.
No, definitely.
They played Musiala there. But obviously, if he plays there, he can't play at 10. And Musiala has a quiet game right now. Yeah. There's very little from Bayern.
Yeah. Atalanta is the top of Serie A with a 1-0 win over Cagliari. Even Gab, are they going to stay there?
Well, it's looking good so far. I mean, I think the Real Madrid game took a ton out of them. They were not good against Cagliari, but he has this luxury of being able to turn to the bench. And look, there's Nicolo Zaniolo who scored the winner. There's your buddy Lazar Samardzic with the sweet left foot. He came on and he turned the game. He's got so many options. Scamacca is going to be back at some point as well. Retegui isn't even starting. Well, he started now, but he's in and out. That depth, I think, stands them in really, really good stead.
10 league wins in a row now. 10 league wins in a row, man.
That's crazy, isn't
amazing.
it? That's really amazing. But it just shows that, good coaching and so many players who've been regenerated, who came in, maybe were talented, but maybe elsewhere didn't punch their weight. It really is just a model club. And I say this as somebody who does not like Gasperini, as you know.
Milan celebrated the 125th anniversary with classic throwback jerseys and a parade of legends and Ballon d'Or winners. But Gab, Genoa, and my boy Patrick Vieira spoiled it for everyone.
They did. Now, so the game finished 0-0. Before the game, Fonseca, again, calling people out, calling his own players out.
Not happy with the Champions League midweek game against
Not happy
Red
with
Star.
the game midweek, rightly so. So what does he do? He drops his captain, Davide Calabria, and he drops his vice captain, your boy Teo Hernandez. Yeah. Again, you want to make a big call, then he makes a statement. He plays this kid Jimenez, who's actually really good. He plays Mattia Liberali, who is literally 17 years old, making his debut.
10,
in the number 10 spot. Obviously, Pulisic out. Look, they dominated the game. They could have scored. They hit the woodwork. Should have scored. But it doesn't matter. It's a 0-0. And the fans are really, really angry. I mean, it got really ugly after the game. Many fans are actually with Fonseca. Some fans are against the players. Everybody seems to be. Ibrahimovic walking around before the game got booed. And other people pointing out, it's the club's 125th anniversary. You bring all these stars back. Who wasn't there? The owner, Jerry Cardinale. And I think that
was weird. I thought that was weird watching it.
That's important. Yeah. Dude, it's coming. You can easily, if you book early, you can probably get a cheaper flight. Just fly in and out. But you have to have some sensitivity for the thing. And now
it's not a good look.
It turned into a really ugly situation. Fonseca has to be careful, though, about picking fights because there's a lot of people there who can flex.
Yeah.
But I say this, there's a big chunk of the fan base who are with Fonseca. And it seems to be this three-way battle between the club, some of the players, and Fonseca. Paris Saint-Germain beat Lyon 3-1 at the Parc des Princes, which means they go 7 points clear since Monaco and Marseille both draw. Jules, were you surprised that he dropped Marquinhos, Speedy Barcola, and Gonzalo Ramos?
Yeah, I was a little bit. And to be fair, he started Desiré Doué, who was great in midweek in the Champions League and was the best player on the pitch last night, on Sunday night. Maybe Marquinhos needed a bit of a rest, but this team worked really well.
They got really tired playing against Salzburg for 60 minutes.
I don't know, but they were outstanding. So clearly the choices, the picks that Luis Enrique made worked out, and then Gonzalo Ramos comes on and make that third goal happen and scores it. So great night overall.
It was like 2-0 when they scored 2-1. You weren't concerned, squeaky bomb?
No, really. I thought they controlled that second half, really. There's that one shot for Fofana on Marquinhos. Lovely goal by Marcotti. But yeah, I just thought they were the better team, and then it showed, to be fair. 10th draw in 16 league games now for Juventus as they held 2-2 by Venezia in Turin. Gab, what happened to all the positivity after the win against Manchester City in midweek?
This is Juventus right now. That's what happened to it. It's not just a 2-2 draw. It's that they went ahead, then we're 2-1 down, and then Vlahovic had to convert a penalty in deep in injury time. This is not a good situation. They're still inconsistent. The build-up is just way too slow. You see what he's trying to do, but it just gets lost, and then you drop points like this, and you get a bad vibe. Third versus fourth in the Bundesliga, and Leipzig overcome Eintracht Frankfurt 2-1 as Benjamin Sesko and Lois Openda get on the score sheet. I think it's 3 wins in a row, excluding, of course, the Champions League, where they always lose.
Yeah, they lose to Villa. Although they probably deserve better. I have to say, Gab, and this game was late on Sunday, which is unusual for the Bundesliga, because usually their big game is on.
Yeah, sorry, can I just say as an aside? I don't need to watch Spurs and Chelsea kick off at 7 p.m. on a Sunday night. Well. It interferes with my normal watching, which is at that time of night, which is Ligue 1, of course, Serie A. No, it's not strictly come down. Stop it. My Eagles, they kicked off at 9:15. By the way, we beat the Steelers. And Julien was really, really good. But sorry, back to this. Well, I don't want to see this again. Why?
I don't. There must have been a reason, because otherwise they would not put it that way. So. But yeah, I thought it was really good from Leipzig, considering how bad they've been at times very recently. And yeah, Frankfurt have been really good. I know sometimes it can be a bit hit and miss, and they were certainly more miss than hit on Sunday away in Leipzig. But I think it's good when Leipzig play like this. It's just we don't know how consistently they can be at that kind of level. But for now, that was really good, and their form is improving.
Breathing room for Marco Rose.
Napoli go down away at Udinese, but storm back in the second half to win 3-1 and stay second for now. Gab, better from Antonio Conte's crew?
Better result, but they weren't good in this game.
Not the first half, certainly.
Not only did they go down, in the end, you look at the XG, Udinese walloped them. I think it was 1.84 to 0.82. Good news, Lukaku on the score sheet again with a typical Lukaku goal.
Yeah, very true.
And also David Neres.
I know.
Finally showed up. Now, can he string more than 2 or 3 performances in a row?
Not sure.
No, but remember how
he was super sub at the start of the season. Remember, he kept coming on and scoring or assisting, and then he went AWOL.
But remember, like Ajax, we were all excited for him, and we need him to do something. Napoli need him to do something. Good news is they're still second for now, obviously. Inter with that 2 games in hand, actually.
Bayern Leverkusen get a big 3 points at Augsburg in a 2-0 win. Gab is still blue-collar stuff from Xabi Alonso, but it's working.
Yeah, this is not a dominant Bayern Leverkusen.
No, he wasn't.
I mean, at least he played 3 at the back, and so Frimpong and Grimaldo didn't have to play as wingers, which I don't like seeing. Your friend Martin Terrier playing up at center forward.
Yeah, which is a bit unusual for him. He's more of a second striker, but he did well and score.
Patrick Schick coming off the bench. Yeah. At least, presumably, he's back to fitness or closer to fitness. They'll need to ask. Boniface will be back in the new year. I mean, I can deal with it better. Obviously, there's no Hoffman as well. We don't talk about him. He's been out for a while. I think he would give them a bit of that alternative. I don't like it when they play like this, but then I'm also starting to think, hey, maybe you need to be able to play like this some of the time. You should still get the results. And maybe Xabi Alonso wants to show that there's this other dimension to how they play as well. Marseille failed to keep pace with Paris Saint-Germain as they let a late lead slip away against Lille and draw 1-1. Jules, are you going to blame my boy De Zerbi?
No. I mean, this was a great game, I thought. One of the best games that I watched this weekend. Great intensity, felt the Champions League intensity was there. And Marseille started well with that goal. That they worked out really well with the famous De Zerbi kind of midfield box, if you want. But Lille came back, and Lille had big chances. David one-on-one with Rulli. Zegrova one-on-one with Rulli. They should have done better there. Marseille had some chances as well. He could have easily finished 2-2. I think the draw is probably fair. But when you're Marseille at home and you concede in the 87th minute an equalizer, it's quite bitter. So I can understand why they're not happy. They're going to Copenhagen. They play in the French Cup in midweek. and the players thought, hey, let's go away all together to be even, more of a family. So they go for 2 days in Copenhagen. Joe Reyna makes it 2 starts in a row for Borussia Dortmund as they take the lead against Hoffenheim. But then, Gab, Dortmund gonna Dortmund.
Yeah, and look, Gio Reyna, and if you're a fan of the U.S. men's national team, you're happy. He starts 2 games in a row. He scores a goal. He's looking better. Now, I do kind of think that Nuri Sahin's approach is like, I've got so many players. Who's fit? Let me just chuck something out there and see, what sticks to the wall.
Yes.
That is encouraging, but then it's the same old crap late in the game. They get pegged back and they can see chance after chance after chance. This guy, I don't want to pick on a young player. Then it's like, the guy's 21. He's not even that young. Yannick Loers comes in, completely loses the guy for the equalizer on the far post.
That was bad.
And in fact, they could have lost this game. So, I just don't see any progress from Nuri Sahin. None at all. I don't care where you are in the Champions League or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, this is week in, week out. This is how we measure your progress, and you're not there.
Como my boy says, Fabregas scored twice in injury time to beat Roma 2-0. Gab, what happened to the Ranieri feel-good factor?
It kind of went out the window, and they totally... They look, I love Ranieri, and maybe... I'm not going to question his choices, but he went there and he set up to get a point and maybe nick something. So he went with Dybala and El Shaarawy up front. Dovbyk did come on for the second half. But, no Mancini, no Pellegrini. Guy, you want to make your statement. It's freaking Hermoso. Enough. The guy doesn't want to be there. The guy doesn't belong there. 0.34 expected goals with 66% possession. That's what does this tell you when you have so much of the ball and you put together 0.34 XG?
Yeah.
He's got to figure it out. He will figure it out. Again, as you said, Como's 2 goals come in injury time. Let's not get overly excited here, Como, but big 3 points for them.
Yeah.
Monaco also failed to keep pace with Paris Saint-Germain as they're held 0-0 at Reims. Jules, okay, I thought they were atrocious against Arsenal in midweek, but they also had guys suspended. And they also had Balogun and Zakaria out. These are pretty important players, right, for Uncle Adolf?
They are. They just look a bit jaded and tired, and they've played in such an energetic way that when they don't have that, they struggle, and they probably should have lost this game against France, who were good, put them under a lot of pressure, and they just never found a solution. So, again, I don't think they would want to go to Paris and face PSG on Wednesday night. They have to before the winter break. But they're going through a bit of a bad patch right now. Jens Odegaard scores the only goal as Bologna beat Fiorentina 1-0, stopping their winning streak at 8 consecutive games. Gab, regression to the mean?
I think a little bit because obviously that win streak was a couple games where they had the rub of the green a little bit. Look, they've been through a lot. You had the Eduardo Bove situation. Their coach, Raffaele Palladino, is missing because his mother passed away. We send our condolences. They did not play well. Bologna thoroughly outplayed them.
They did.
Vincenzo Italiano, their coach, who of course was at Fiorentina last year, he went nuts at the final whistle, which they really did not appreciate. And by the way, shout out to Jens Odegaard. He's kind of like a more minimalist version of Odegaard. Right? I think this dude's Danish. Sorry, Scandies.
Yeah, so the same. But they're all cousins. We've said that before.
Odegaard. I wonder what the etymology is.
Yeah, I don't know. Union Berlin and Bochum draw 1-1, but Gab, there is a ton of controversy around this game.
Yeah, so with the game tied, it's injury time. The Bochum goalkeeper gets hit by a lighter thrown by the Union Berlin fans. And by the way, producer Freddie, who's an Union Berlin supporter. He's not here. I wonder if...
Did he send the lighter himself?
Yeah, I think he might have been in Berlin at this game over the weekend. But so anyways, what they do is they stop the game for 20 minutes. Apparently they identify the guy through the lighter or whatever. But then the game restarts, and because Bochum have made all their substitutes, they send the forward. The goalkeeper. Hoffman in goal. Yeah. It finishes 1-1. Bochum are saying, well, hang on a minute. This game shouldn't have been suspended. It should have been abandoned.
Yeah. I think a point.
It depends what's in the rules. I don't know if this is actually covered in, it's not covered in the laws of the game, obviously, but there should be rules and procedure. But I mean, when they say it like this, if I've made all 5 substitutions and, somebody from the crowd or a foreign object takes out one of my players, the game should probably be abandoned. Or I should get another substitution.
Something like that.
So I don't know what they're going to do. I do think Union Berlin have a point. On the other hand, guys, it was 1-1 in injury time. They could also, in the real world, they could make a case. Just take the point.